What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today.
The Denver Nuggets season has come to an end after getting mollywopped for the second time in this series in a win or go home situation. Game 7, Oklahoma City took care of business 125-93. I actually had a feeling it was going to be a blowout after I found out about Aaron Gordon's hamstring injury. Now, first of all, salute to AG. Salute to AG for going out there and playing, being a warrior, 25 minutes, hobbling up and down the court, giving it his best effort. I commend him for that. But also, it is on the coach to make a decision to bench him if you feel like his injury is actually doing more harm than help for the team. I think in this game, it didn't matter because as a whole, the Denver Nuggets were trash. Not a single player on that team had a good game. Everyone left something to be desired. Maybe you could make an argument for Christian Braun, but still, pretty much in the second half of the game, the Oklahoma City Thunder blew that game open with offense and with defense, harassing the Denver Nuggets, harassing Joker, getting good points in transition, forcing them to turn the ball over, and stifling them with defense on the other end. OKC is no joke, but I would have loved to see the Denver Nuggets execute better and play with more life in that second half. I hate so often I feel like we get these game 7s that we've been building up to and you expect an epic showdown, and then I feel like more often than not it ends up being a dud. It ends up being a blowout. I just feel like that happens a lot. OKC is legit. That team is legit. That defense is legit. And when they're hitting, they definitely have a high octane offense. I mean, they won all those games for a reason, and they appear not to be one of those just regular season teams that collect a lot of wins but fizzle out in the playoffs and really ain't got that bravado to get it done. But it helps when you have a guy like SGA who is a legit top 5 player in the league. It's not like the Atlanta Hawks where they had this amazing record, but they really didn't have a true all-star on the team leading the way. This ain't that situation. They got a guy named SGA, and he has some nice backup with him. Michael Porter Jr. I know the guy is injured, but Lord Jesus, that was an abysmal series. I don't know why they didn't just start somebody else instead of him. It could have been Russ, even though sometimes you're throwing a dice with Russ or anybody else for that matter. Strother, Jalen Pickett, Dario Sar, I don't care. Michael Porter Jr. was that bad every single game practically. He was hurting the Denver Nuggets. I don't know what his contract is. I have no idea. Maybe he could come back better next season, healthy, and be a better contributor, take that next step as a player. I don't know if he's a free agent. I don't know the details, but I'll be curious to see where it goes from there. Joker. Wow. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 turnovers. What really baffles me with Joker is how does Nikola Jokic only get 9 field goal attempts? I understand the stifling defense of the Oklahoma City Thunder, all that stuff, but come on now, 9 shot attempts? He should be sitting at 9 shot attempts halfway through the second quarter. I need to see the Joker with 20 to 28 shot attempts in the game 7. No joke. No pun intended either. He's too damn great to only be getting 9 shot attempts. That's unacceptable for the best player in the NBA. It's unacceptable. There's no way he should be getting 9, man. No way. No way. No way. No way. No way. No way. Joker was going to have to set the tone for the duration of that game. He didn't set the tone. For anybody else, most players in the league, that stat line, 27-9, they'll take that. But for Joker, that's a bad game. It's not a good game at all. Especially when you factor in the 5 turnovers and 9 shot attempts. And he shot 5 for 9. He's likely going for a 50 to 60% field goal percentage game if he continues his aggressiveness. It's not like he was 1 for 9. He was on a good pace. That's the most shocking thing. If they were going to lose, I thought Joker was going to go out swinging. Swinging. Leave it all out on the floor. Stuff the stat sheet. Whatever. Bring them along with you the best way they can. Even if you're dragging them through the mud. But no. Some people might sit here and say fatigue, this, that, and the third. And I get it. They have a thin bench. They've had a thin bench all year. They've been logging heavy minutes, but 9 shot attempts is not an excuse for fatigue in 37 minutes. It's not. Jamal Murray didn't have a good game. 1 for 8 from three-point land, 6 for 16. Wasn't that aggressive. Was having trouble maneuvering and navigating through the Oklahoma City Thunder defense. Like I said, Braun was okay. And let's get to Russell Westbrook. Another bad game from Russ offensively. Defensively, all series long. You can say nothing about Russell Westbrook. He showed up to work on the defensive end all series long. In fact, I wish they would have just put him on SGA more and just let him dog him out. But on the offensive end, Russell Westbrook has disappeared the last 3 games. He started off the series good. Fantastic in his role. But these last 3 games, Game 5, Game 6, Game 7, Russell Westbrook just was completely different from what we've seen this entire playoffs. Not only was he missing threes, these shots weren't even close. I'm talking air balls over the basket, left or right of the basket. The mid-range wasn't there, and he wasn't getting to the cup enough. And he wasn't getting enough points in transition, albeit off of team defense or himself playing the passing lanes or stripping pockets. And because Russell Westbrook disappeared offensively, between turnovers and missed shots, open shots, because OKC keeps giving it to him, it made Russell Westbrook largely unplayable in the fourth quarter. Because the coach had to make a decision. Is what he's giving us on defense worth rolling the dice with Russ on the offensive end? You see, when Russ was hitting his shots and being more effective offensively, coach was playing him those fourth quarters because he was getting production on both ends. But when you're only getting it on one end, you got to make a decision. We don't want to keep coming up the floor and leaving with empty possessions because they keep giving Russ the 3 and he can't hit it. It's not always a guarantee they're going to go to Russ's man when Russ is on defense. But it's more of a guarantee that the Nuggets are going to find an open Westbrook almost every possession because that's what OKC wants them to take. So for that reason, Russ wasn't getting that fourth quarter shine that he has been getting damn near all playoffs when he was producing. Now, one thing I do want to mention about Russ, I don't know if this happened with the coaching change, but one thing I noticed is that here in the playoffs, Russell Westbrook wasn't getting as many plays ran where it involved some pick and rolls or dribble handoffs or whatever, where Russ is cutting to the basket and Joker is finding him at the rim for a layup or a dunk or whatever the case may be. I didn't see them run that. I can't even remember them running that play at all in the playoffs. Luckily for Russ, his three-point shot and his jump shot was hitting, And he was attacking the rim in isolation, sometimes getting fouled or getting to the cup in general. And in the fast break, those opportunities were there, and he was hitting his jump shot. But I didn't see a whole lot of Russ cutting to the basket and Joker finding him, specifically Joker. They used to run that action a lot in the regular season, especially when Russ was really thriving. I would have liked to see that more. Instead of the open threes, cuts to the basket, drop-offs, whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. I've been defending Russ this whole playoffs when he's been playing great, but these last 3 games wasn't it. Wasn't it. He was a liability on offense these last 3 games. The pivotal 3 games. Got to do better. Overall, tip my hat to the Denver Nuggets, considering their thin bench and, taking OKC 7 games, which I thought they would, but hats off. Wish they could have got it done in the end. Where do I see the Nuggets moving forward into the next season? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Russ is going to be there. I don't know what it's going to look like. But what I can say is that I've talked to some people. There's some people that want Joker to have a true all-star teammate by his side. And I get it. They say all these other guys have some type of all-star Robin. Why can't Joker have one? I get it. But do I think he needs one to get back to championship glory? No. Honestly, I think this team would have won a championship if they just had 2 or 3 more consistent sharpshooters, spot-up sharpshooters off the bench. And if they're 3-and-D guys, even better. At least 1 or 2 of those guys be a 3-and-D guy. But they were literally just 2 or 3 sharpshooters away, in my opinion, from winning the championship. Because they get a lot of open 3-point looks from Joker's passing and the team passing in general. But especially Joker's passing, they get a lot of open threes. But they don't have sharp shooters. They have guys that can score the ball. They have guys that can shoot. But they don't have sharp shooters. If they had 2 or 3 of those, and maybe some of them be a defensive guy, I'm telling you, they would have beat the Thunder. Because there were a lot of empty possessions when all they needed was a guy that can hit the 3 consistently. A Peyton Pritchard, a Steve Kerr, a Steve Novak, a Gary Trent Jr., a Nembhard, somebody like that. Somebody that can just shoot that 3 ball, let it fly. I'm telling you, another all-star would be great. Don't get me wrong, but I honestly think without one, they just needed some shooters, man. And another D guy, it would have been fine. It doesn't have to be a big contract person either. That's the other thing. They can do this with a much smaller contract that's not eating up a bunch of salary. And the depth to be there. I figured you could probably just find somebody like that in a D League. We just need you to hit an open 3. We just need you to stick to somebody. Sign somebody off waivers. I don't know who's out there. And they also need a legit backup for Joker at the center position. DeAndre Jordan ain't it. I don't know why they got rid of Boogie Cousins. Wasn't Boogie Cousins on the Denver Nuggets at one point on a limited contract? Yeah, I think he had a couple small, like 10-day contracts or something like that. And then they ended up signing for the rest of the season a couple years ago. But I thought Boogie was fine for a backup center for Joker. Like, Boogie was the Joker before Joker came up like he did. Boogie was that, 20-plus point game, 10-plus rebound per game, and 5-plus assist guy. Not as good as Joker, but, like, Boogie could score, Boogie could rebound, and Boogie could pass the ball. He was about as good as Joker defensively. Like, I think Boogie, even at his age now, and, I think he's playing overseas now, but I think he'd be a great option for a backup to Joker. I don't know why they got rid of him. I can't remember if something happened. Not discipline-wise, because he's been good ever since he left Sacramento. I don't know. But they do need some type of backup for Joker. Anyway, folks, that's all I got to say about it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Catch you on the next one. We out, baby.